One way to do so is trying to think about the problem in more abstract terms. You're trying to solve a hopefully known problem. First you have to define the problem. Once you have defined the problem, you're trying to solve that problem. There may be a known solution, and in some cases, there's nothing wrong with that known solution, and maybe it's a process that has been fine-tuned for years, if not decades, and that's perfectly fine. But in some cases, it is good to try to think outside the box and trying to see how you can apply learnings from other categories or other different problems into the problem you're trying to solve. I think that's one key way in which newcomers in the industry could apply creativity and innovation in their role.
If you're able to step back from what you're doing and look at it in the sense of, well, what is the status quo? What isn't working right now? Or rather, what could be better? It may be working fine, but there could be opportunities to improve. That's your first step that's your first step to apply creativity and to drive innovation. It could be through a collaboration with somebody that you're working with to ship a new product, and it might be changing the way that you collaborate, changing the way that you might document a solution. But when people start seeing the benefits and the value that it brings, that is going to spread the word.
So I think it was Picasso who said famously, like, good artists copy and great artists steal. I guess leverage other people's ideas would be the best way to simplify that quote. So some practical examples could be, just constantly asking questions, seeing what other people say. Like if you're working, like see what like your coworkers or your managers say. Try to collaborate, and for example, like when you're coming up with ideas, when you're brainstorming, try to have other people involved so you're able to leverage their ideas as well.
I think one of the biggest things is to never see a challenge as a bad thing. So whenever you run into what you perceive as a wall or as something that you can't get past, don't be too quick to give up. Very often there is a way around it, you just haven't thought of it. You start with those small problems and you don't let those challenges stop you from doing something, and over time it'll become easier and easier to see solutions and things that you previously saw as barriers.
I think sometimes there's an element of worrying about how you're going to be judged. And I think with creativity, we're worried about people thinking that our idea isn't creative.
One key factor that I've seen repeated in innovation, I don't think it's a requirement, but it is definitely very common, is when you mix and match knowledge from different domains, and people with different expertise that go into a new domain often come up with some of the most creative, innovative solutions. In some cases, because they don't know what's not possible. And if you have studied a specific problem or a specific industry, or you're within a specific domain for a long time, it's not so much about being complacent as much as it is about being conditioned to learn the kind of solutions that are available to you. Whereas if you try to mix and match knowledge from different domains and bring those to that specific new domain that you're working in, that often allows you to make some realizations and to think about ways to attack the problem that, again, may not be obvious to most other people, and thus, there comes the creativity and the innovation.
I think you have to be creative in the way that you try and collaborate with others. You've got different time zones, people work differently. Some people are fine talking just to a camera, to a webcam, whereas others prefer to be able to have material ahead of the meeting and have pre-reads and then go through that content. Others prefer to use that time to work through the content together. And so trying to navigate different ways of working and finding approaches that are going to play to everybody's strengths, that's a key challenge.
It doesn't have to be necessarily exactly brand new. It just needs to be different to the specific problem at hand. And by bringing solutions to different problems into your specific problem, that may also count as innovation. Continue to learn as much as you can, and not just about your specific domain, because again, it's crucial that you continue to mix and match knowledge and problem-solving skills that are beyond your specific domain that you're currently at, for two reasons. Number one, you may eventually transfer to a different domain, which happens very, very frequently, but also because by learning how other domains attack and tackle their own problems, you may be able to make that connection to your own domain in ways that other people may not see as obvious.
The trained muscle analogy is a good one. Once you start being comfortable with the way that you question and you reflect on something that's close to you, you're able to take those learnings, to take those skills and apply them in a domain that's different from the one that you're familiar with. The challenge that I want to pose to learners is to stop, think about it, and reflect on your own perspectives. Because you're somebody, what you see and what you value is important. It may be different from somebody else, but that doesn't undermine its value. Starting there is going to plant the seed of creativity and hopefully allow you to innovate.